Hey everybody, Jeff here. I wanted to come and talk to you about Strife, Legacy of the Eternals, which is on Kickstarter right now, going through October 30th, 2014 from V3G. I've looked at V3G games before. We actually reviewed Incredibrawl when that was on Kickstarter on the podcast. So they asked if I would take a look at this one, and I said sure, because it really kind of intrigued me, and I'm glad I did. At some point here, up around behind me, you should see a round of this game being played, so you can kind of get an idea of that. It's a two-player game. I think a full game, you play 3 rounds of it. It says 60 minutes. I think once you start getting used to the abilities, you'll probably drop down and be less than that. But there is a lot to take in when you're first learning the game. And it's not a bad thing, and it's not too bad at all. I actually played this with Megan, and she caught on pretty quick as well. And this is usually not her style of game, so that's kind of cool. It is basically you're battling over locations. Each player is going to get the same champions, which are numbered 0 through 9. And that number is their battle strength. But each champion also, so like I got the Necromancer, one of my favorite, just visually. The artwork on this is great. This is a prototype, but I think this is near final prototype, and I love the look of it. If it came just like this, I'd be happy. But the Necromancer, who's undead, he's got a power of 1. Pretty weak. But each of these characters has a battle ability, which is when they're directly fighting for the location that you're trying to get the points from. And then they have a legacy ability, which is when they've kind of already done the battle, they're off to the side. Basically your champion discard pile, but the top card on your champion discard pile is your legacy champion. He's kind of cheering on, if you will, or lending support. So his legacy ability triggers to help during your battle. So our Necromancer here, again, starting base strength of 1, not great, but his battle ability, Strength of the Grave, increase the Necromancer's power by the number of champions in your legacy pile. So you play him late in the round, the more champions you have in your legacy / discard pile that you've used, the greater his strength is. So that's kind of cool. And then his legacy ability, so when he's on the top of your discard legacy pile, Unholy Pact, the Necromancer may exchange positions with any other champion in your legacy pile, then trigger the new champion's legacy ability. So basically, if he's on top of your pile, he can pick one of your other champions in your legacy pile, so you get their ability instead. So that's kind of cool. That's definitely, and a lot of little things like that. Some of these will negate your opponent's abilities, add more strength, mess with the locations, all kinds of different things. And again, it's a battle ability and a legacy ability. So it's kind of cool. So you're battling over locations in the middle. And these locations, again, great art on them. The abilities or the power, the point value for each one is basically 1 through 4. I think 4 is the greatest one I saw. And each location also usually has some kind of ability like, well, let's look at the one I got here. This is a 3-point, so whoever wins this will get 3 points. Kingdom of Astaria, add 2 power to any knights that battle here. So if you play a knight at this location, it's going to get +2 to its strength of 8. So base strength for a knight is 8. Play it there, he becomes a 10. So all of these locations do something like that. 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. And usually adding power. So you kind of work out what you're going to get from the location, what the point value from the location, how bad do you want to kind of win that particular point value, the battle ability that you're playing, what you think maybe your opponent will play for a battle ability, and you get to see the legacy ability on their side that's going to trigger, not to mention the legacy ability on your side. So although each of you have the same 0 through 9 champions, same abilities, same battle, same legacy abilities, the game changes by the order you play them and what triggers off of what. So that's pretty cool. I dig that. I really like that. I like that sitting here going, all right, what are you going to play? What do I think you're going to play? What is your legacy ability? Oh, what do I think can work well with that? What's my legacy ability? What do I think can work well with that? A lot of, 0 through 9, it's a small set of decisions to potentially make, but the mix and match combinations of the battle ability and the legacy ability and what the card is going to give you and what the card's points are worth and how much you think that is worth to you versus your opponent, that kind of stuff. It all makes for a very nice kind of decision-making tree there to figure it out. And then the one thing I haven't mentioned is I'm using a D10 here, but this is considered the Fate Stone. Now, the Fate Stone acts as a tiebreaker and points at the end of the game. So whoever starts with the Fate Stone, it starts at 1. And then anytime there's a tie, the person with the Fate Stone loses, but once per tie. And ties happen like battle abilities trigger off of who has the highest value. Legacy abilities trigger off who has the highest value. And then the actual combat triggers off of value, strength value. So there are like 3 different spots during a individual turn that you can potentially tie. And at once in that area, you can go, all right, I don't want to lose this tie. Like, I want my ability to trigger first because your ability might negate my ability. All the way to, I don't want to lose this location. I want the points. If you're tied there, if you have the Fate Stone, you can pass the Fate Stone. When you do that, it increases in value. So it would go from 1 to 2 in this case, go to your opponent, and you win that tie. So you've won whatever the tie ability is. Let's say it's the location. I've won the location. I got these 3 points. Now the Fate Stone sits in my opponent's hand, and it's at 2 points. If this comes back to me at some point, it'll be worth 3 points, and so on. At the end of the game, whatever this is sitting at, and whoever has it gets those points added to their end game score. So it could potentially sway the final look of the game, whoever has this at the end of the game. But it also can potentially be, let's say, you get the points from the stone, and that ties you up. You lose because you ended up with the stone at the end of the game. It's the end-all, be-all tiebreaker. And you took the points, you tied, but you have the stone. So that's kind of cool too, because that's one more little decision factor that kind of comes in. There are a few times when I was playing that I'm like, I'm good on this tie to keep the Fate Stone for now. Oh wait, I really want this one, so here you go. Great, it gets a bump, but I get this. And hopefully at the end of the game, that doesn't mess with me too bad. So there you go. I mean, that's really what we're looking at. You get a nice little turn sheet here. You get a score tracker that consists of these 2 cards. And the 1 is nice because it just kind of goes, it's 0. So you go 0 through 9. Then you flip it to the 10, the plus 10, plus 20, plus 30. And then you can actually flip it over for 40, 50, 60, 70. So in 2 cards, you get plenty of scoring. So that's kind of cool. This is very easy. I mean, a little nice 10. Again, this is a prototype. Looks pretty close to final to me. You can always check out the Kickstarter, see what they've got up there. But if everything came like this, I'd be pretty happy. And I've enjoyed my time with this game. And it's a pretty cool little, little micro-ish, backpack-ish kind of game to take along with you for 2 players. So Strife, Legacy of the Eternals from V3G, again, goes until October 30th, and it's on Kickstarter right now. October 30th, 2014. Go check it out. because I think this is a great little 2-player game. So definitely worth your time to go look at. Thanks a lot, guys. We will talk to you soon. Plenty more videos potentially on the way. Probably not much in this month, but next month we should have some more. So thanks a lot.